Shalom, brother and sister truth seekers. We're going to do a brief recap for the 22nd and then follow that with the data from the 23rd, because we had a couple late entries that came in on the 22nd after I made the video for the 22nd. So we're just going to cover the ones that I think I missed because they were important. So we had one from Tennessee and we had one from California come in on the 22nd. So, and just a note, I try and keep people's information confidential as much as possible. But if you have any questions about anyone's data, we can definitely find a way to get you in touch. I can reach out to them, ask them if they're okay to hear from you. But so the only way I know if you're okay with me mentioning your name is if you write your name in the picture that you send. Like as I look at the your data set here, if your name is somewhere, that is an indication to me that you're okay with everyone knowing who you are. But no, aside from that, I'm apologies if I don't mention anyone's name, because I do err on the side of protecting people's privacy unless they specifically let me know it's okay to mention their name or it's included in the picture that they send. So anyway, this was an excellent data set. Looks like 10 hours, pretty much 10 hours of data that came in from the 22nd. And this was a confirm of the straight line. So if you remember earlier on the 22nd, we had a data set come in from South Africa, 9.5 hours of data that looked like a straight line. So this is a wonderful second witness confirmation. There's pretty much these points look on the line. Maybe there's a little bit of human error that's causing them to some be this one a little below, this one be a little above, but for the most part, that looks like a pretty good straight line. So thank you for that. That was what I was praying for. You are an answer to prayer. And then here is another data set. Oh, it's funny. So this one was only 9 hours. And then for the 23rd, both of these truth seekers submitted again. And this gentleman got not 10 hours on the next day. And she got 9 hours on the previous day. So they kind of flip-flopped. But still, 9 to 10 hours. 10 hours is what we want. Like when I do the data summary video, you'll see my color coding system. Anyone who has 10 hours of data and it doesn't look like there's anything funky going on, I'm going to flag that with a solid green color, which means it's very solid. Like there's not any reason to doubt this. When it's less than 10 hours down to 9 hours, I still will make the text green. I won't make the entire cell totally green, but I'll make the text green, meaning it's likely, but it's not as solid as a 10 hour, but it's still a pretty good witness. When we get down to people who only collect 8 hours, unfortunately, I've just seen days of data where people collect 8 hours on the day before, the day of, and the day after the equinox. And when it's only 8 hours, you can see a straight line on all three of those days because it's only in the early morning and the late evening when we see that hook the most. So unfortunately, do the best you can. If that's all you can do, that's fine. Some people are actually able to see the curve on those days, but it's just kind of dicey. It's not as absolute. I'll include the data in the summary for sure and the pictures, and people can look and come to their own conclusions. But as far as the summary I put together, I try and lend a more experienced eye and point things out for those who might not know much about this, but all the data will be available. If you check the link in the description below this video, there's a Dropbox folder. You don't have to join Dropbox. Just click on the link. It'll take you to the folder directory that has all of these photos in it, and you can look at them and you can make your own decision. But I'm just trying to help those who might not have a sharp eye for this kind of thing, and I'm learning too, but I'm just trying to help for whatever it's worth, lend an experienced opinion here. But so anyway, this was 9 hours of data, and that's not bad. So it looks like these points are very fine points, so that's good. Like it's not a big marker or a big ball. These are very fine. and it looks like they're pretty much all hugging that line. So I would say that's a pretty good third witness to confirm the straight line was the 22nd. So moving on to the 23rd, we had a few people try, and unfortunately, I think Angie, she tried, bless her heart, or her family's heart, whoever helped to try and gather this data, but it's just it was cloudy, so they only got 3 hours of data. But here's an example of what I was saying. Like, this looks straight because it's only a short spread of data. And this can happen all the way up to 8 hours of data. It looks straight, but it's actually, it's in the early morning and the late evening when you'll see that hook around the time of the equinox. But this is a good example and a testament of your perseverance, so thank you. And she had some very important data to contribute leading up to the equinox, so her family. So we heard from Tennessee again, and I wanted to share this. She was praying for sunshine so she could get a mark, and she got this picture. This is the sunrise of autumn, the first day of autumn, following the straight line sighting the morning following. So that was a beautiful picture. Her data set from today is the yellow, and this one was 9 hours, and I say appears to be slightly flipped. So it's a close call, but I do see the majority of these circles are below the line, which means the smiley face, like I can tell her board is the same orientation of my board. And so when I had that slight rainbow curve, my points were above the line slightly. So her points are slightly below the line. It's close, but I think it's good. It's 9 hours of data. It's not 100%, but I think it's in harmony with everything else we've seen. So this is a good data set showing the post-equinox curve, I believe. And then one more from California, and he nailed it yesterday. He has all these pictures here. I guess I'll save the best for last. But this is his setup. I love it. He has this little mobile unit, he called it, and he just can take this. He's a truck driver, and he can take it with him anywhere. One thing I'll say about it, because I heard him mention it too, and it sounds like this gnomon is so tall that he's not able to get like an early morning point because it's off the board. So we don't want to sacrifice getting those missing those early morning points, because the gnomon is so tall, it's just running off the board. So you actually, if possible, do want a little shorter gnomon, so as soon as we get sunshine and shadows, we can be collecting data. We don't want to not be able to collect data just because it's too long. But he did good. He got 10 hours today, so however he did it, it was fine. So I think that was his first point of the day. That one, 7:49, and things get a little congested, but the picture from the 22nd is up in this database. So if you want to compare to see which one was from which day, you can. But you'll see he has like a timestamp directly below the one from today, and then a timestamp from yesterday or the day before right above. So they're above and below. They're a little mixed together, but if you compare the two pictures, you can pick them out pretty easy. And so those are his overall. I'm going to go back to the one that I dropped a red line on, and so we can see from his last point of the day, from the first point, that 7:49, to the last point of the day, I got a line connecting the two, threading the needle. And when we come to midday, we can see these are all coming off the line in a smiley face. So that's what 10 hours of data will get you. It will be clear that you're off the line at this point. And so that's excellent. I wasn't, this was just hearing from these last two from Tennessee and Texas kind of at the last minute, but they came through. Really important confirmations here. They're an answer to prayer, and I just want to thank everybody for their efforts this time around. I think it's it is pretty clear what happened, where the Creators International dateline likely is, and that'll prepare us for next spring. So please stay tuned. I'll be coming out with a summary video about everyone's data from this past Equinox event and discussing the Creators International dateline in a day or so. So shalom, and may Abba bless you as you continually seek out his truth in love with a pure heart. And by the way, I guess I mentioned this in every video, but if you want a live feed of what's happening with all this sundial information, this Facebook group is where I post all pictures and videos. Anything that anyone sends me, I upload to this Facebook group in live time. So I don't know if you're on YouTube and you just watch the YouTube videos. I only typically put those out at the end of the day. Sometimes I wait till the next day. But if you want a live feed, this, as soon as I get it, they come to this group, and there are 230 people in this group they also post their stuff live. So this group tends to be a lot more active around Equinox events, and you'll definitely this spring, I'm sure you'll see a bunch of people posting their data. And if you want to keep up with the latest that's happening around the world, this is a good place to do it. So again, shalom, and may Abba bless you as you continually seek out his truths in love with a pure heart.